All right, everyone, please be seated, and let's call our next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Kelly Lawson.
All right, please raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sorry.
May I sit down?
Yes, sir. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
My name is Kelly Lawson, and that's KELLYLAWSON.
What do you do for a living?
I work for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
And what is your role at the GBI?
I am the forensic artist.
And you say the forensic artist. Does that mean you're the only forensic artist?
I am currently the only forensic artist.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what is a forensic artist?
A forensic artist is, well, an artist who helps with police investigations. And basically what that means is I do composite drawings, which is where if someone is raped or robbed or assaulted and they saw the face of their perpetrator, they would then come to me and I would take the description of the person that they saw and draw them on a piece of paper. Usually they're very large, 18 by 24 sheets of paper. And the police then can use that drawing to narrow the field of possible suspects and get an idea of what the guy looked like. The other half of what I do is working for unidentified remains cases. So if someone is found and the investigators don't know who that person is, then it falls upon me to do an illustration or a sculpture of that person representing what they would have looked like while they were alive in an effort to get their name for the police.
How long have you been with the GBI in that role?
I've been working with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation since 2012.
Okay. Do you have any specialized training to be able to do the job that you do?
Yes, I have a degree in drawing, painting, and printmaking from Brigham Young University. I took a course, a 40-hour course from Betty Pat Gatliff in Oklahoma for two-dimensional skull and three-dimensional skull reconstruction. I also took a 40-hour course from Lois Gibson in Texas, who is a well-known forensic artist, and I completed a 13-month-long apprenticeship under Marla Lawson, who was the former forensic artist with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Have you ever testified in court before as an expert witness?
Yes.
How many times and where?
Multiple times in Cobb County, Fulton County, Clark County, and Clayton County, and DeKalb County.
Have you ever been denied expert status?
No.
At this time, Your Honor, I would like to introduce her as an expert or tender her as an expert in the field of forensic artistry.
No objections to that, Your Honor.
All right, she's so qualified, and you may proceed.
Can you tell the jury, did there come a time when you received a photograph in connection with this case?
Yes, on this, I believe it was definitely a Friday, December 9th, I believe was the date of 2022. I got an email from Lindsay Smith containing a photograph of an unidentified Jane Doe that needed a drawing.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Counsel, I'm showing 1.16, 16, 17, and 18. Without displaying these,
Yes.
can you just look at those?
Okay.
I'm specifically referring to 1.16. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what is that a photograph of?
That is a photograph of the head of the Jane Doe.
Okay. And as a result of receiving that photograph, did you make any drawings?
I did.
And what drawing did you make?
I actually, throughout the weekend of December 9th through the 11th, I completed 2 drawings.
Okay.
I completed one drawing with the hair down and one drawing with the hair up because the hair is not very visible.
Okay.
So I completed 2 drawings.
Did you provide both of those drawings right away?
I did not.
Which drawing did you provide first?
I provided the drawing with her hair up
Okay.
first.
Would that be what's depicted in 1.17?
Yes,
And then the one with the hair down, would that be 1.118?
that's correct.
Okay. Did you have any difficulty drawing this drawing in particular?
Absolutely.
Can you tell the jury why?
It is very difficult to work from remains when a person has been beheaded, because when we're typically associating with someone and communicating with them, we see them and gravity's pulling on us one direction, we're sitting up, and there are certain muscles and ligaments and tendons that go from the sides of the head and the jaw and the bottom of the jaw all the way down through the neck, and it kind of centers our face. So when those are severed from the rest of the body, it changes the entire expression, it changes the entire structure of the face. It makes it very difficult.
And did you in fact then do more than one drawing in part because of that?
That, and it was difficult also to draw from this one because I had somewhat limited information. I didn't know exactly how long her hair was. I didn't know what color it was. When I receive a case like this, I have to move rather rapidly because of the whole idea of police have more success if they're able to try to solve the case within the first 48 hours. So as opposed to going back and forth with the individuals working in the morgue to get every tiny little detail, I'll often work from what I have and get the most accurate drawing that I can. And in this particular case, I was unsure about the hair, so I ended up doing another drawing, and I felt like that drawing was prettier even though the hair was less detailed.
And with respect to her eye color, did you base that information off of what?
I based her eye color specifically off the average. A lot of times if you can't see someone's eyes, or if there's one of the first things that changes in the decomposition process is the eyes will go glassy and glazed, and they'll often change colors. So you tend to go with the average, and they say for Caucasians, the average would be brown eyes.
Okay, so even within brown, are there variations of brown?
There are absolutely variations in brown.
And how do you deal with that?
Honestly, I just try to stick with something that makes a beautiful photo. I know that sounds terrible, but the more beautiful the photo, the more compelling the photo, I guess is probably a better word than beautiful. The more likely people are to share the case, and the more people then end up seeing the case, and the likelihood of that person getting identified is better. So I will make sure, usually I tell people that, you know, I often draw John and Jane Doe's almost as if they're getting their glamour shot done, but it's, you know, it's the last drawing someone will ever have of them their entire lives. You know, I just feel like it's a respect thing, and it helps the public become more engaged.
I have nothing further on.
All right, Mr. Weinstein.
No questions, John.
All right, thank you very much.
Your Honor, I'm going to bring those back over if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Your Honor, at this time, the state calls Peter Hershey to the stand.
Peter Hershey,
Hershey.
like the candy bar?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Weinstein.
Good morning, sir. Before you have a seat, if you would please raise your right hand and take the oath.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat.
May I inquire?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, before we begin, I'd like to tender States 1.19. These are the business records from J.C. Lewis Ford that the state served prior notice of.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, they are admitted.
Thank you. Sir, can you please state and spell your full name for the court reporter and just stay close to the microphone so we can all hear you?
Peter Hershey, Hershey.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What do you do for a living?
For right now, I'm retired, but I worked for J.C. Lewis Ford.
Okay. What did you do at J.C. Lewis Ford?
I was in sales,
And how long were you in sales?
40 years in the car business,
Okay. And how long with J.C. Lewis Ford?
30.
Okay. And which location were you assigned to in that 30-year
The
period?
Savannah location.
Okay. And while at the Savannah location, did you sell cars?
I did.
Okay. And were you employed there as of July of 2022?
I was.
In anticipation of your testimony here today, I'm going to present you with States 1.19, if I may. Can you just look through that for a moment? Do you recognize those types of documents?
These would be customary documents that would be signed during the course of normal car purchase, yes.
Okay. And does that specific set of documents include the sale of a 2022 Ford Explorer?
It does.
Is that a car you sold?
Possibly. I've sold 600 cars since then, so I
Okay.
don't
May I-
remember specific, but
Approximately how many cars a year did you used to sell?
300.
Okay. So it would be fair to say you may not remember every single person that you sold a car to?
That would be very likely, yes.
Okay. When a car is sold, do you prepare documentation concerning the sale?
My side, in the sales side, it's very limited. We do a credit application, we capture driver's licenses, insurance cards, and that kind of thing to substantiate. Then it gets turned over to a business manager who actually contracts and does the documentation.
Okay. So with respect to this 1.19, I'm referring to page number 1 after the certification. I'm going to publish this if that's okay, Your Honor.
You may.
Does it indicate in the sales contract who the purchaser of the vehicle was?
Nicholas James Kassotis,
Okay.
or Kassotis, rather.
Okay. And you indicated that you would secure a driver's license, correct, from an
Correct.
individual purchasing.
Correct.
I'm now going to show you the last page of Exhibit 1.19. Madam Clerk. Is this a driver's license that was secured in connection with that sale?
I would say so, yes.
And is that also for Mr. Nicholas James Kassotis?
It is.
And the address that's listed there, how would that address be? Would that be from the driver's license itself?
Correct.
I'm going back to that first page of the sales contract. Would that also list the price of the vehicle?
It will, yes.
And will it also list how it was paid for?
It will.
So down here on the lower right corner of that document, I'm referring to, forgive me while I try to manipulate that.
No worries.
Does it indicate how much the total was?
After taxes, tag, and looks like a what I call a back-end product, which is your 3-for-1, looks like $44,853 and 74 cents.
Okay, so just shy of $45,000.
Correct.
And what is a 3-for-1?
3-for-1 would be like paintless dent removal, chips in the windshield, and tire and wheel. Basically covers your tire against road hazard.
So some type of insurance that you could purchase at the time of the car?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Kassotis purchased that coverage as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you tell the jury what a vehicle identification number is?
Oh, yeah. You need it broken down by digit or just the whole thing?
Just generally?
Okay, so one indicates, the first digit always indicates the country of manufacture. The second digit always indicates the manufacturer. Then the third, fourth, and fifth, the third and fourth digit indicate plant, I think. Then you go to the model, which is the next 3 digits, and then the engine, and you get to the year, which is, I believe, an N for 22.
Okay. And so would it be fair to say that each vehicle has its own vehicle identification number?
It would be absolutely impossible for 2 vehicles to get the same VIN number.
Okay. So every vehicle has a unique VIN number?
Correct.
And you said VIN, is that the abbreviation for vehicle
Vehicle
identification?
identification number, yes.
Okay. And with respect to the vehicle purchasing process, what type of a car was this that was sold?
It was a Ford Explorer,
Okay. And that was what year?
22.
Okay. Do you know if Ford Explorers in 2022 had the ability to have Bluetooth or telematic connection?
They did.
Can you tell the jury what the difference is between telematics and GPS?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Well, let me be more clear then. Does the car have the ability to connect to a phone?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And in doing that, does that require some equipment inside of the car?
Yes, there's a modem inside the car.
Okay. And do you know, if you know, who Ford uses as their cellular provider for that
No,
modem?
would be AT&T.
Okay. Did this car have an AT&T modem for that 2022 Ford?
I would say it would be very likely that it would, yes.
Okay. And would that be able to be tracked based on the vehicle identification number? Meaning AT&T records?
It should be, but that would more come off the phone rather than the car.
Okay. And with respect to this vehicle, there was that vehicle identification number associated that you just referred to?
Correct.
And is that listed here on that contract right there on the top left side under?
It is under serial number.
Okay. And that is a number. Can you tell us what that number is for the record?
Read it off.
Yes, please, sir.
1, F as in Foxtrot, M as in Mike, S as in Sierra, K as in Kilo, 7, D for Delta, H for Hotel, 7, N for Nancy, G for Golf, B for Bravo, 37068.
Thank you. And with respect to this vehicle, do you see the portion where it says here at the bottom, amount financed?
I do.
And what amount was financed?
None.
So how was this car paid for?
Cash or check.
So that would be the full $44,853.74?
Correct. Now, there's a section on that buyer's order that'll show a lien holder, if there is one.
Okay. And with respect to this vehicle, are there oftentimes recalls with respect to vehicles?
Yes,
There can be, right?
most undoubtedly are.
Okay. And would that be something that is preserved in the business records as well by J.C. Lewis Ford?
That would be a federal document.
Okay. And I'm going to ask...
We pull a recall, we used to customarily pull a recall notice because it is against Ford policy to sell a vehicle with an open recall.
Right, for safety's sake. Is that a yes?
That is a yes. I'm
Sorry,
My-
just the reporter needs to get that.
My apology.
Not a problem. I'm now showing you the third page of that exhibit. And that recall for that vehicle, can you tell us what it was?
It was a rear axle bolt fracture.
If there were other recalls, would those be part of the sales packet?
Yes.
Now, I'm just going to show one other item for you, sir. My apologies, I'm showing council the page. I don't know exactly which number it is in the exhibit, but I want you to see it, sir. Thank you. I'm showing you a single page from within this exhibit. On the top right here, do you recognize that document?
I do.
Part of the sales package?
It is.
And I'd like to point just up here to the far right. Does it say salesman?
It does.
Who is that?
That would be me, Peter Hershey.
And specifically, in order to gain commission as a salesman, do you need to get your name on a sales contract?
I do.
Okay, so you would be fairly convinced that that would be you that had sold that vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Weinstein?
Good morning, Mr. Hershey.
Good morning.
My name is Doug Weinstein, and I'm representing Mr. Kassotis in this case. Just have a few questions for you.
Certainly.
You were in the car sales business for 40 years, correct?
That is correct.
And when did you retire?
February 7th this year.
February of 2025.
Yes.
Can you tell me in broad strokes, what do you do when you go about selling a car to an individual? What's your approach?
Well, they have what they call the road to the sale. But basically, it's meet and greet, create a rapport, find out what they want, and sell them the car.
And when you're selling them the car, in your experience, do you tell them about the features in the car?
Generally speaking, yes.
Is-
Sometimes the customer knows more about the features than we do. But they've done research on one car, we have to know 10 or 12.
As a salesperson, do you go through training on the features on various vehicles?
Yes, we do.
And as part of that training, you learn the features of the cars, correct?
Correct.
This, and then of course, at times, you explain those features, as you said, to your potential customers.
Call that a features benefit presentation, yes.
What about after the sale? Like after you've made the sale, do you explain the features further then as well?
If the customer requires that, yes.
Okay. And we were talking about the connection features in this 2022 Ford Explorer.
Yes, sir.
And one of the features you mentioned, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that known as Ford Pass Connect?
It is part of that, part of the connectivity or what the telemantics, whatever you want to call it, is Ford Pass, yes.
Is Ford Pass.
I can take my cell phone start my car, lock it, unlock it, see the oil pressure or the oil life. You can see where the car is. So yes, you can track your own car.
So if I had one of these 2022 Ford Explorers and I've got my phone and I'm not near the car, I'm somewhere else, I can tell where the car is?
Yes,
That's a great feature, right?
it's wonderful.
Is that something that you would sell people on?
Depends on whether that comes up that they're interested in it or not at the point in time. When I do finish up with my presentation, I will traditionally pair the phones and show them the features on Ford Pass Connect.
Okay, if that's a part of your regular routine.
It is.
So you pair their phone up,
Mm-hmm.
you show them the features of Ford Pass Connect,
Correct.
you show them how, look, you can see where your car is if you're not near your car.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, I believe, the oil level in the car, you said?
Fuel level, oil level, miles to empty, whether there's a recall on the car or not. There's all kind of information there.
Now, as I understand it, you don't recall specifically selling this car to Mr. Kassotis because you sell so many cars, correct?
Sir, that would be like 600 to 900 cars ago, yes. And it was during COVID, and half the time during COVID, we didn't meet the customer.
I
The
understand.
car would get delivered to them, and we would have done the paperwork.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask about, do you keep up, we were talking about recalls on these vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So this car was sold in 2022,
Mhm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2022 vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that we saw that there was one recall at the time of sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time of sale, you don't know about recalls that are going to pop up in the future, correct?
That is correct.
So if there's recalls that come in 2023, that wouldn't be on the sale paper from 2022.
It would not.
And if there's recalls from 2024, that's not going to be on the sales paperwork either.
Not unless you can get somebody to have a crystal ball and print from that crystal ball, no.
I know. I mean, my clients often want me to have a crystal ball, but I don't have one. And I'm sure your customers are the same way, right?
That's correct.
So you were still working as a salesman with Ford as August 2024, in August 2024.
That is correct.
So are you aware of the recall that Ford issued in August 2024 of 85,000 Ford Explorers for engine fires?
Objection, Your Honor, as to when? In August of 2024, or when was the recall counsel's referring to?
I'm asking if the witness is aware of a recall that was issued in August of 2024 for 85,000 Ford Explorers for engine fires.
Which would only matter, Your Honor, for relevance if that was applicable to a 2022 model.
Let me be more specific, I'm sorry. I'll rephrase the question. Are you aware of a recall that Ford issued in August of 2024 for 85,000 2020 to 2022 model year Ford Explorers for engine fires?
I probably knew about the recall at the time. I probably had some kind of issue, would have called the service department to see if they could fix them, because I would get phone calls from customers that would ask about the recall. Do I remember that specific recall? No. Ford has literally, I hate to say it, but literally several recalls a year.
And Ford is not unusual in that, right? To
No,
just
every
protect Ford here.
manufacturer has those.
Okay. But again, an August 2024 recall would not have shown up in 2022 paperwork, correct?
That would be obvious, yes, sir. It would be correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Anything else on redirect?
You simply said, correct me if I'm misunderstanding, you just don't recall if there was or wasn't one.
Yes, you are right.
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right. Can the witness be excused?
No objection from the state.
Mr. Hershey, thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
You too.
Our next witness, please.
At this time, the state calls Dean Glover.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please raise your right hand and take the oath.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please have a seat, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you please tell the court reporter your full name and spell it, please?
Dean Stanford Glover, DeanStanfordGlover.
Mr. Glover, where do you work?
City of Riceboro.
What do you do for them?
I'm the public works supervisor.
And as the Public Works Supervisor, you said that was with the City of Riceboro?
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell us where is the City of Riceboro located in Liberty County?
Wow. It is between Hinesville and Brunswick, actually. So about 20 miles away.
Okay. So if you headed south on I-95, would you hit basically your
Yeah.
area?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do as the supervisor for that department?
I'm pretty much is the director, for the public works, sanitation, and just wastewater, sewer, and
Okay.
public. Just anything dealing with the city.
Okay. And in that capacity, do you have a location that you're assigned to?
Yes,
Where are you assigned?
793 Barrington Ferry.
Okay. And is there a building at that location?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to turn your attention back to December of 2022. Were you assigned to work at that same building at the time?
Correct.
And where is that building located? You gave us an address, but how would you get there?
Basically on Barrington Ferry is just go to Riceboro to the caution light and take a left.
Okay.
A right, I'm sorry.
Okay. And if you were coming down I-95, would there be an exit that would take you there as well?
52.
Okay. And what roadway would you come off of I-95 to get to that building?
That is 17,
Okay.
Highway 17.
Okay. Does that also connect at some point to Jones Road?
It passes by, correct.
Okay. Is it fair to say that Barrington Ferry and Jones Road are kind of the same name, just at different places on the roadway?
Correct.
Okay. So depending on which county you're in, will kind of depend on what you call it?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you worked there?
12 and a half years.
And in that 12 and a half years, do you know if there are any cameras at that location?
Yes, they are.
When did those cameras get installed?
After 9/11,
Why did you install cameras after 9/11?
it was mandatory after 9/11.
Federal government required it,
Correct.
and they were installed?
Yes.
Are there cameras on the pumping station building? I believe that's what that is. Is that correct?
It's a well.
It's a well, okay?
Yes.
Are there cameras on that building?
Correct.
And is there any type of security surrounding the building?
Fencing.
What kind of fencing?
Chain link.
Okay, is there anything on top of the chain link fence?
Barbed wire.
Barbed
Yes.
wire, right?
Correct. Yes.
And were the cameras at that building working in late November of 2022?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what area the cameras capture from that building?
The roadway and the entrance of the well.
Okay.
Yes.
And does there exist a security system to preserve that video footage?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm going to call it a DVR, that digital video recording device. Was
Yeah.
there one present inside of the building?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you have been responsible for maintaining that?
Correct.
Would you also have been responsible if there were any problems to get it fixed?
Correct.
Did there come a time when you had a chance to look at that video footage and determine if there was a timestamp on it?
Yes.
Is there a timestamp?
Yes.
Is that timestamp accurate to the best of your knowledge?
It is because it's controlled by the satellite, just like your cell phone.
Okay, so that is correct and current.
Yes.
Okay, and you indicated that those cameras do record, correct?
Correct. Correct.
And that video recording equipment, who has access to it?
Basically, just myself in the city. When something happened, it's myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did there come a time when law enforcement asked you about that video footage?
Correct.
Do you recall when that was?
Date and time, no, but it just happened when we had an incident now.
Okay.
And the reason why, because I am a volunteer fire department on that. So when we get situations, we do.
Okay. So if I direct your attention back to December of 2022, is that approximately when, even if you don't recall the exact date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when law enforcement requested to see that footage, did you show it to them?
Correct. I gave them the DVR for them to extract.
You gave them the whole thing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And was that, would that have enabled them to download any footage from that device?
Yes.
And you turned that over to them yourself?
Correct.
Did that device include footage from November 29th of 2022 that you had a chance to look at before your testimony today?
Yes.
And was that a accurate and complete documentation of the entire time period surrounding the very end of November into December of 2022?
Yes.
Specifically in anticipation of this court date, were you able to look at just smaller clips of that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And were those a fair and accurate depiction of what was captured by the cameras on those dates?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Did it display the timestamp?
Yes.
I'm going to ask, Your Honor, that the witness be shown 1.25, a USB. May I approach?
You may.
I've had this marked. Do you recognize the initials on that USB?
Yes, that's mine.
Okay. And is this the actual USB that you watched on that day?
Yes.
Did you have an occasion to determine if that captured the same area that you just described to the jury?
Yes.
And did it?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, I'm actually going to plug this in so we can see it. If you want to just leave it off for one moment. Were you also shown some still photographs?
Yes.
And were those in fact just snaps of the actual original video?
Yes.
I'm going to show those to you right now. These have been marked as 1.20 through 1.24. I'm showing those to counsel.
You may.
Mr. Glover, I'm showing you 1.20.
Okay.
Do you recognize what's depicted there?
Yes.
What is that, sir?
That is the well.
Okay. Is there a building there as well?
Correct.
Okay. And is that building the one that has cameras on it?
Yes.
Does that building have that fencing and the stuff you just described
Yes.
to us? And I'm now showing you 1.21 through 1.24. In that order. Do you recognize what's in those photographs.
Yes.
What are those photographs of?
And well, I'm looking at a vehicle and the fencing, and this is the, that big box is just what we have our electricity come through for the well, yes.
So you recognize that as being where you were working?
Yes,
Okay. Are those a fair and accurate depiction of what's on the camera and your building on photographs 1.20 through 1.24?
yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time I'd like to introduce those and tender them.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Or they're admitted without objection.
Thank you. I'd also, Your Honor, like to tender 1.25, which is the video footage of those two clips I was referring to.
USB.
The USB.
No objection.
It's also admitted.
One moment, my apologies. Just for the record, Your Honor, I'm going to ask to publish the file ending in ID 23302. Now I have this up on the screen. Do you see that video that's playing? Oh, maybe not. For the purposes of moving along today, Your Honor, it's in evidence. I'll publish it at another time. Mr. Glover, you did recognize, however, those two videos that we've talked about,
Yes, I do.
and those are on the USB that have your initials?
Correct.
Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you the still photographs.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say that the photographs that are here are simply just stills off of what's in that actual moving clip?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'd like to first show you 1.20. What building is depicted right here?
It is the well.
Okay. And that building, does that have cameras on it?
Correct.
That's the ones that we have here?
Yes, ma'am.
And this road that passes directly in front of it, what road is that?
Well, A lot of people call it different things, but we know it's like Hometown Road. It goes into Homestown. Yes.
Okay.
Jones, Hometown.
Jones.
Yeah. It's
Does that also
very,
turn into Barrington Ferry?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there's a lot of names for it, but that's the road that passes in front?
Correct.
Okay. And do you see specifically that chain link fence that you're referring to there?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm now going to show you photograph 1.21. Do you see this up at the top left corner?
Yes.
What is that?
Top left is the,
Is that the timestamp?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm
Does that list
looking
a
at the
date and a
light.
time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was what you indicated was
Yes.
on there? Okay.
Yes.
And now specifically, do you see the fence there that you were referring to earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's that chain link barbed wire fence?
Mm-hmm.
Is there also a vehicle that is captured there?
Yes, ma'am.
And that still photograph, that was just taken off of the camera?
Correct.
Do you know that car?
No, I don't.
Do you know who drove that car?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm now showing you 1.22. Does that also have a timestamp on it?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that's about 2 seconds later?
Yes.
And is that car now depicted here as well?
Yes.
Is that passing in front of the facility?
It's moving, yes.
And just so the record is clear, what side of the car, driver's side or passenger side, is closest while passing here?
It is the passenger.
Okay, so fair to say you can't really see the driver of this vehicle?
No, I don't.
And now I'm showing you 1.23. Is there a timestamp on this one?
Yes.
And what time is that?
12
12
and
o'clock and 13 seconds, right?
Yes.
It's very precise.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see anything on that roadway?
Yeah, I see a vehicle.
Okay. And is that the same type of vehicle as the one in the last screenshot?
Yes, going in the opposite direction.
Okay, so now the driver's side is closer, is that right?
Yes.
And now showing you 1.24. Does this also have a timestamp?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say just a couple seconds later?
Yes,
Do you have a better view of that vehicle now?
I do.
Okay. And again, do you recognize that vehicle?
The same as we've seen before in the pictures, but not, I don't know it.
You don't know
personally.
it personally?
No, ma'am, I
Okay.
don't.
Now, you indicated that law enforcement had asked you for the DVR and you provided it. Is that right?
Correct.
Was that the material that they were able to retrieve from there?
Yes.
Okay. Other than turning over the video footage, did you do anything in relationship to this case?
No more than not in relation, we just was searching around for some of the remains,
So you helped with the search too?
Yes, a little,
Okay.
yes.
You didn't find anything though, right?
No, I did not.
And the road that passes in front of your building, is that a paved road, a county road?
It's a dirt.
It's a dirt road,
It's half belong to Liberty, the others to McIntosh.
okay? And if you were to go down that road on Jones Road, would you ultimately come upon the Portal Hunting Club?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Weinstein.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Doug Weinstein, and I represent Mr. Kassotis in this case. I just have a few questions. Let me see that. Okay. With respect to this exhibit, which is 1.21, I believe you testified that you can't see who's driving that vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit 1.23. You can't see who's driving that vehicle there either, can you?
Okay, now?
And Exhibit 1.24, you can't see who's driving that vehicle there either, can you?
Okay.
How familiar are you with this LTS brand DVR?
Just something we purchased. I'm not familiar no more than that.
Are
It
you,
rewrites itself after so often, yes.
how often does it rewrite itself?
I don't know. I think it's something like every 30 days, if I'm not correct.
Are you the individual that set up that DVR at the pump station at the well?
Far as, no, it's a technician that sets it up, but I am the one that's responsible for make sure it's serviceable, yes.
But you are not the technician that set up that DVR,
No, I'm not.
correct?
No, I'm not.
And you are not the individual that went through the setup procedure for this LTS Chinese DVR.
No, I'm not.
So you didn't set the time zone for the DVR,
I did not.
okay, or anything else. Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. I appreciate your help.
Well,
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, Your Honor, the state calls Britney Gresham to the stand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would please raise your right hand and take the oath.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat.
I think it's still good morning.
It is.
Okay. Can you please state your full name and spell it for the court reporter?
Yes, my name is Britney Gresham, BrittanYGresham.
Please tell the jury where you work.
I am employed at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Division of Forensic Sciences, which is also known as the State Crime Lab.
And in that capacity, what do you do?
I work in the toxicology section.
What is toxicology?
Toxicology is the study of drugs in the body. So we are testing biological specimens, typically blood, urine, but then also some tissue such as liver and muscle and gastric contents for the presence or absence of alcohol, drugs, or poisons.
How long have you worked for the GBI?
It's been about 14 years.
And in your role there, what would be the title that you carry?
A forensic toxicologist.
Okay, so they call you a forensic toxicologist?
Yes.
And can you describe your educational and professional background for the jury?
I have a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Georgia, and then upon being hired at the GBI, I underwent a about 8-month training program, which included, but is not limited to, evidence handling, our extractions as we call them, those are the laboratory tests that we perform, instrumentation, and then pharmacology, which is the study of what the body does to drugs and what drugs do to the body.
And you indicated, I believe you said 14 years?
Yes.
Have you always been a forensic toxicologist?
Yes.
And how many cases do you think you've handled as a forensic toxicologist? Estimate.
Thousands. We average about 30 to 40 a month.
Now, you work in which crime laboratory?
Headquarters, which is located in Decatur.
So is there a closer one than headquarters to this office or this location?
There is. There is also a lab located in Pooler, near Savannah, the
Okay.
Coastal Laboratory.
Okay. Does the Coastal Laboratory handle toxicology?
They do, but at this point, they weren't doing postmortem toxicology.
Okay, so as of December of 2022, the GBI Coastal Lab was not capable of performing those services?
They were capable. It was just a decision that was made that they weren't going to do it yet. At this point, they are now performing postmortem alcohol examinations.
Okay, so at the time, they just didn't do postmortem yet, but they have since become capable of
Yes.
providing that? Okay. But at the time of this case, would your location have been the one requested by the GBI to handle those services then?
Yes.
And did you in fact get requested to handle something connected to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell us, the Atlanta facility, the State Crime Lab, is that an accredited laboratory?
It is.
Can you explain to the jury what that means?
Accredited means that an outside body has evaluated our practices and determined that we do meet the standards of the scientific community.
And what procedures are required to maintain accreditation?
We undergo surveillance visits where they come out and observe us performing our analysis in the laboratory and also observing our case management. They come out every 4 years, I'm sorry.
So they evaluate the laboratory itself, correct?
Yes.
Do they also evaluate the personnel at the laboratory?
Yes.
Who does that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
They observe us.
Okay, and you said us. Who do they observe specifically?
We have scientists and we have laboratory technicians as well as evidence receiving technicians.
Do each of those different fields have to be maintained and accredited as well as the facility?
No, we're not individually accredited.
Okay, so the whole unit is accredited, but all of those different evaluations get conducted across the agency?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and does that include yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
How often do you personally get reviewed by that body?
Personally, I've been actually observed, I think twice in my 14 years there. They don't observe everybody.
Okay, so it's a spot check essentially?
Correct.
So do you know if it's coming?
I'm not sure of the schedule at the moment.
Okay, so my question I guess to you is, other than them, who else verifies your work? Meaning peer review. Can you explain what that is to the jury, peer review?
Peer review is the process by which another trained, qualified scientist observes your work before it goes out the door.
Does that happen how often?
100%.
So every single case that you work, somebody else reviews it before it gets passed along?
In the toxicology section, yes.
Okay. Have you ever testified before in court in the field of forensic toxicology?
I have.
How many times?
Approximately 25.
Okay. And in those times, where did you do that? What counties?
Some examples would be Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Richmond, Chatham, Fayette.
Welcome to Liberty.
Add that to the list.
Okay. And in those times that you were brought to those locations, were you qualified as an expert?
Yes.
Have you ever been denied expert status?
No.
At this time, Your Honor, I'm going to ask that this witness be deemed an expert in the field of forensic toxicology.
No objection. Well, I think she is qualified and can give her opinions in the field of forensic toxicology. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Were you asked to analyze any biological samples in connection with this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Before I show you any paperwork, can you tell the jury, how does a sample come into the lab?
A sample can be received at the laboratory via mail, hand-to-hand delivery, or via a lockbox, which operates like a two-way locker. One side of the locker is available to the evidence receiving technicians in our evidence receiving department, and the other door is available to the submitting agency, so either our medical examiners or any other agency. Once a submitting agency puts their evidence in that locker, it's locked and can't be opened again from the outside, and so it has to be retrieved from interior with the evidence receiving technicians.
Is that the case with every single submission?
Yes.
Okay. And so there's no way that anybody could interfere potentially with those samples?
Correct.
Now, ultimately, when those samples are received by the evidence technician, do they get documented with a title or a case number?
Yes, they get a unique case number, and each piece of evidence gets a unique barcode and number associated with it as well.
Okay. And is that unique to every single item on each case that gets submitted?
Yes.
And would there be an overarching case number associated with a case being handled by the lab?
Yes.
How does that lab numbering system work, meaning internally?
It is maintained within our LIMS, our Laboratory Information Management System.
Okay. And when a case number is assigned to a case, if, for example, more than one piece of evidence came in at different times, would they be then attached to the same case file?
Correct.
And they would then bear the same number?
Right.
Okay. So you would know if potentially more items had been submitted and either needed your attention or some other division of the laboratory.
Right.
How many divisions are there in the laboratory? Sections, I guess is the right way to put it.
I am not sure. We have biology, we have trace, we have our firearms division, we have our medical examiner's office. I believe that's it.
And toxicology?
And toxicology. Oh, and chemistry.
And chemistry. Okay. So would it be fair to say that your area and field is limited only to toxicology?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't touch any DNA?
No.
Now, do you know where the samples in this case that you analyzed came from?
They came from the medical examiner after he performed the autopsy.
Okay. So the medical examiner, how would he submit them to you?
Via the lockbox. That's how he submitted it.
So even though he works for the GBI crime laboratory, he still submits a piece of evidence in the same fashion as every other agency?
Correct. Even though the medical examiner's office is under the umbrella of the crime lab, they still submit evidence the same way any other agency would.
Okay. And in this case, did you receive a sample from him that you reviewed?
Yes.
What kind of a sample was it?
I received a liver specimen.
Okay. Can you tell us what that means?
During the autopsy, the medical examiner took a piece of the liver and he decided that that was what he wanted analyzed. I believe that he also took gastric contents, I believe spleen blood, kidney, and muscle, but he submitted the liver to the HQ laboratory for analysis.
And did you perform an analysis on that substance?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what the protocol or standard operating procedure you follow when you receive a sample? How does that work when you get it?
The actual processing of the liver or?
No. When you receive an item to analyze, how do you get it to go do your review?
We have a management that assigns various cases to us.
So you didn't select this case, it was assigned to you.
Correct.
And when that came, how did you get the sample to review and analyze? Where do you go to get that?
We store our evidence in a locked cold room, so I retrieved it from there.
And in doing so, can you tell the jury what you had to do to process that sample?
Yes, per our policy on handling liver specimens, we perform a 1 to 10 dilution. So we cut a small piece of the liver and we dilute it with water and we blend it up to homogenize it or make it uniform. And this allows us to be able to process it during our extractions or lab procedures.
Can you explain the difference between a physical liver sample versus a fluid like blood? How would you do it with blood?
With blood, you don't have to do any kind of processing with it. We can just sample it the way it is.
Okay. So are there limitations with liver samples?
Yes, the preferred specimen for toxicology analysis is going to be blood because that's what's actively circulating in the system at the time of death, and that's what's going to be affecting your brain.
If there had been amputation or dismemberment, could that impact the integrity of a blood sample?
It could.
Can you tell the jury what putrid means as it relates to toxicology?
Putrid indicates that a body has undergone some decomposition.
And as a result, how would a putrid sample affect your ability to forensically examine a sample?
I don't perform alcohol analysis myself, but it would affect the alcohol result.
So in terms of alcohol, how would decomposition impact alcohol?
The process of decomposition actually creates alcohol in your body, so that's going to skew the possible results.
So is it possible to tell whether that was in theory then, for layman's term, drinking alcohol versus decomposition alcohol?
Correct, you can't tell.
So you would just know there was some alcohol, you just wouldn't know where it came from?
Yes.
So with respect to this, you then tested the liver sample, correct?
Yes.
And in testing the liver sample, can you explain if the body cavity was exposed, meaning there was an opening in the neck, could that have in some way impacted the toxicology results?
Could you rephrase?
Sure. If the head had been removed and there was an opening to the body cavity, could that have caused complications with any results?
The integrity of some samples might be, some samples might not be of integral value. I know that the medical examiner did take some chest fluid, but he deemed that not suitable for analysis due to the fact that the body cavity was open. And that's one reason why he submitted the liver.
So if you had had blood, would you have used blood?
Yes.
Did you have any blood to use?
No.
All you had was the liver?
That's what was submitted.
Okay. Now, can you tell the jury the specific methods of analytical review that you used? I know we talked about GCMS and some of the other equipment. What are those processes?
To start with, the specimen was screened on something called, on my report, it's referenced as a LCHR-MSMS, which is high resolution liquid chromatography mass spectrometry. And what that's going to do is it's going to separate the components of a mixture, and then it's going to help us identify them via the mass spectrum. The other instrumental techniques that I used are LCMSMS and GCMS, which work similar. The GCMS is gas chromatography mass spectrometry. So once again, they're going to separate the components of a mixture and then help us to identify them.
That sounded very complicated. Is that where you get the specialized training?
Yes, we do have training in that.
And you're trained on how to use that equipment?
Yes.
Okay. So when you do that initial analysis, are you able at that point to determine what, if any, components may be in the specimen?
Yes, our screen looks for about 150 drugs, and whatever is found there will go forward for confirmation testing to determine if it is present above our limiter report.
Okay. Can you test for every single drug that's out there?
No, we don't test for everything out there.
Why not?
Some things aren't necessarily applicable to our casework, and other things we just don't even know are out there yet. So we're constantly improving our methodologies and adding new drugs to our libraries.
So you use the phrase library. Would it be fair to say that in order to know what's there, you would have to compare it to something?
Correct.
So if you ran the specimen and you didn't have a comparison for a particular type of drug, you wouldn't know if it's there?
Right.
Okay. When you performed this, did you recover or see any particular substances that were present during the analysis?
Yes, I was able to detect and confirm diphenhydramine in the liver.
Okay. Can you spell diphenhydramine?
DIPHEHYDRAMIN.
Sorry. I did not mean to put you on the spot. I was trying to help our court reporter. What is that commonly known as?
Diphenhydramine is commonly known as Benadryl.
Okay. So diphenhydramine is the fancy chemical name for it, but Benadryl is what we're talking about?
That's a common brand name for it, yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what the effects of Benadryl in your system may be?
Diphenhydramine is a antihistamine. That's the classification. What it's doing is it's acting on the histamine receptors in your body to prevent allergic reactions from occurring. One of the possible side effects of that, however, is drowsiness. And as such, it has also become a common sleep aid.
Can diphenhydramine be distributed over the counter or with a prescription?
It's over the counter.
And in that over the counter form, is it sometimes sold as a sleep aid and sometimes also sold as a allergy antihistamine?
Yes, ma'am.
What are common names that some of the jurors might know those to be?
For a sleep aid, you might see it in ZQuil or Unisom, or sometimes it's in combination with Tylenol to be like a pain reliever and sleep aid combo.
Now, when it's in a pain reliever combo, would you also see then potentially the acetaminophen, which would have been the pain reliever component?
Yes.
Did you see any of that in this case?
No, ma'am.
So the only item that you saw in the liver sample was the diphenhydramine, the Benadryl.
Yes.
And are you able to determine what's called a concentration?
Yes.
What does a concentration mean?
A concentration is an amount of substance that is present in the specimen.
Okay, so it's like how much is there compared to the rest of the sample?
Yes.
And in this case, did you determine a concentration?
I did.
Does the amount of the substance found impact the effect potentially on a person?
Yes,
So a higher concentration may have a more profound effect or less?
correct. A higher concentration would have a more profound.
Okay. And what was the concentration in this case, if you know off the top of your head?
May I reference my report?
If not, I'll introduce it first. I'll make that easier. I'll withdraw. I'm going to show you 1.26 that I had marked. Do you recognize 1.26?
Yes, this is a copy of my report.
Okay. Do you recognize that to be your actual report?
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to tender 1.26.
Any objection? No objection.
All right, it's submitted.
Before I get ahead of myself, do you make reports in connection with the work that you do at the crime laboratory?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you do that?
It's going to be an official document of our results.
Do these get reviewed for accreditation?
Yes, they do review our casework.
And do you also potentially use it to testify in court?
Yes.
How many samples do you think you've done in the last year?
Samples,
Yeah, how many cases do you think you've worked?
maybe 200.
Be fair to say this might help your recollection as well?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm now going to ask to publish this, Your Honor.
You may.
Thank you. That case number that you were referring to, would that be marked up here in the top right corner of this official report?
Yes.
And would it also indicate at the end your signature here?
Yes.
And the results and the information that you secured in connection with this, that would be listed, is that correct?
Correct.
And is there in fact a concentration that you found of the diphenhydramine?
There is
Okay, and what was that?
2.9 milligrams per kilogram.
Can you tell us what that means?
It's difficult to say with a liver specimen. It's very limited in what you can say. Once again, a blood being our preferred source, since that's going to be what's actively circulating and going to be affecting your brain. Oftentimes in the field of toxicology, we have ranges that we refer to. So we have therapeutic, toxic, and lethal. Therapeutic would be what you would expect to see in the blood if someone is taking a drug as prescribed. Toxic is getting into more adverse effects, perhaps loss of consciousness, disorientation, things of that nature. Lethal is going to be what's consistent with an overdose or death. We have those levels for blood. We don't have those for liver specimens. In a research or clinical setting, you can administer a drug to somebody, draw blood, and draw correlations between doses and blood concentrations. With the liver, you can't do that. You can't give drugs to somebody and then just take a piece of the liver to analyze to make a correlation between. So it's difficult to say what this value is going to mean. What I can tell you is that in a study of 11 deaths that were attributed to diphenhydramine, the average liver concentration was 34 milligrams per kilogram. And this is nowhere near that. So you wouldn't expect this to be a lethal level.
Right. So can you also tell us what happens when a body is dead and it's potentially laid out? I believe you explained to me something about how there's redistribution. Can you explain that to the jury?
Yes, after death and blood is no longer circulating and the body just settles, drug concentrations can redistribute throughout the blood and tissues. So that could be affecting this level as well.
Now, given that this case involves a deceased and a dismemberment where the blood was not available, is that the best that you were able to do given what you had?
Yes, the medical examiner submitted what he had to get whatever kind of results to come up with his conclusion of cause of death.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, cross-examination, counsel.
Good morning, Ms. Gresham.
Good morning.
I'm Doug Weinstein. I represent Mr. Kassotis in this case. Let me ask you some questions, because maybe I misheard. The state keeps saying the only thing available was the liver. Didn't you testify that the medical examiner drew spleen blood?
Yes, there were some other things that he acquired from the body. If it wasn't spleen blood, it might have been the actual spleen. I could have been misquoting there.
But you had said spleen blood, correct, earlier?
I said earlier, yes.
What else did he draw from the body other than, that could have possibly been analyzed by you, other than the liver that was provided to you?
Well, there was the chest fluid, which he deemed unsuitable due to the fact that the chest cavity was open. There was kidney, there was gastric contents, there was muscle, and there might have there was brain, and there might have been other things, but I did note those in the case file when I was printing out my materials.
Okay, but you did not receive spleen blood from the medical examiner, correct?
No, those were never sent up to headquarters.
And I understand from your testimony this figure you have of 2.9 milligrams per kilogram. Because you don't have studies, as you said, that can administer and then check blood, that the figure you get, 2.9 milligrams per kilogram for the liver, that really can't tell you much about the level of toxicity, correct?
Correct. I don't know what was actually circulating in the blood at time of death.
So this number is essentially meaningless for us trying to determine the effect of the diphenhydramine on Mrs. Kassotis, correct?
Objection to the word meaningless, Your Honor, is argumentative.
Let's try again. I'll withdraw it.
Thank you.
Can you tell anything from that 2.9 milligrams per kilogram about the level of toxicity?
I can just say that diphenhydramine was consumed at some point.
But you don't know the level of toxicity of that, correct?
This doesn't represent a lethal level based on literature.
Or does it represent a toxic level?
It's nowhere near the 34 milligrams per kilogram, so I wouldn't think it would be toxic either.
If you would have had spleen blood and you would have analyzed spleen blood, could you have made a more definitive analysis of the effect of the diphenhydramine on Mrs. Kassotis?
Objection calls for speculation.
She's an expert.
She is an expert in all out.
Once again, I'm not sure if it was spleen blood or actually spleen that was taken from the decedent, but that wouldn't have very much value either because it's not what's actively circulating in the body, in the blood at the time of death.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Note redirect.
Thank you. You're excused. Thanks for being here.
Your Honor, may we approach for a moment?
Yes, ma'am. Gentlemen, that concludes all of the witnesses we have scheduled for this morning. The next witness is the medical examiner, and we were given information that that individual was testifying in another county earlier this morning. I believe he's traveling here to Liberty County. We don't expect him here until after 1:30, possibly 2 o'clock. So I'm going to give you, it's 11:52. I'm going to ask you to come back at 1:30. So please don't be later than that. Be here at 1:30. We'll see you then. Thank you.